Welcome into the Commanders Report. I am your host, Jack Sperry. And yes, once again, we are going to be discussing Chase Young trade rumors. I know some of you guys are really getting a little burned out with all these Chase Young rumors that we've been doing on the channel lately. But hey, if they're going to provide some big-time trade rumors for us, we are going to have you covered here on Commanders News and Rumors by Chat Sports. So go ahead and subscribe today, because if Chase Young ends up getting traded somewhere, we're going to have a breaking news video for you right here on the channel. So never miss a big move for the Commanders 24/7, 365. We got you guys covered, so click that subscribe button for me right now. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you always know when breaking news hits for the Burgundy and Gold. So now, before we get started here, I want to be 100% crystal clear here. I do not want to trade Chase Young. I think that Young has immense upside as a former number 2 overall pick back in the 2020 NFL Draft. I still think he has incredible size, strength, and speed. That combination you just don't get every single day, and he's somebody that is absolutely worth keeping, and unless you're the Commanders, I don't think you should get rid of him unless you get a king's ransom. But now Bleacher Report has come out with some more trade rumors surrounding Chase Young. The first one has him going to the Houston Texans. Now, I did include Houston on my list of Chase Young trade destinations. We put that out over the weekend. So if you missed that video, I'm going to put the link to that one in the description and comments of today's video, where I lay out my 5 trade destinations for Chase. But let's take a look at what Bleacher Report had for their trade idea for Chase Young here. They have Jonathan Greenard, really good edge rusher from the Houston Texans, along with a 3rd-round pick for next year in exchange for Chase Young. So this is what Maurice Moton from Bleacher Report had to say about the trade. In a rebuild, the Texans may finish with a record well below 500, so the Commanders would likely add a top 75 pick for next year's draft, and they would get a 26-year-old defensive end who led Houston with 8 sacks for the 2021 campaign. So why would the Texans want to make this deal? The Texans are looking to add young talent, plain and simply, right? And if you're trying to upgrade that defensive line that, you just added Will Anderson Jr. this year in the draft, he's looking like he's going to be a number 1 guy in this league. If you add Chase Young on the other side of him, are you kidding me? That is dangerous. That could be lethal. And right now, Houston has a ton of draft capital to give away if they really believe in Chase Young. And Houston has a ton of cap space to use on a large contract extension for Chase Young if they end up trading him. Now, coming up here, I'm going to give you my thoughts on this potential trade idea, whether I would take it or not. But first, I want to hear from you guys. Are you taking this trade for Chase Young? Would you make this deal if you were Martin Mayhew, the Commanders GM? Type A if you would accept it, or type D if you're going to decline. So I would personally want a 2nd-round pick, okay? So I look at this trade, and you get the 3rd-rounder and Jonathan Greenard. And, I like Greenard a lot. He's still relatively young, right? Jerry Hughes is the one that's really getting up there in age, but Greenard's only 26 years old. He's had some nice production in this league before. He's athletic. He'd be a nice compliment to Montez Sweat, but another kind of issue here is that Greenard is slated to be a free agent in 2024, just like Chase Young is, just like Montez Sweat is. So you still have the same dilemma if you are the Washington Commanders. Are you going to pay Montez Sweat? Are you going to pay Jonathan Greenard? One of these guys is probably going to have to hit the free agency market because you're already paying Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne big bucks. So I'm not too sure if Washington would really be that interested in getting a guy like Jonathan Greenard. They might be even more interested in a guy like Jerry Hughes, who might be a little bit older, but he's definitely less expensive, and he's not going to be taking as much of a bag come 2024 free agency. But my take on this is that if Washington is going to part ways with Chase Young, I want to get a player in a 2nd-rounder or like a late 1st-rounder. I want to get a really, really good pick for Chase Young because I'm a believer in Chase Young. I think Young has the potential to still be an all-pro caliber player. And in order to get a guy like that, in order for me to be willing to get rid of a talent like this, I need quite a bit of compensation. There's some people are like, oh, Washington would trade him for a 4th-round pick. That would be the biggest mistake that Washington Commanders GM Martin Mayhew has ever made in his entire life if he gives him up for a 4th-round pick. Okay, I think if they let him go, it's going to be for a late 1st-rounder or an early 2nd-rounder plus a player. So because I don't get that here in this scenario, I'm declining this trade. So coming up here, I've got some more Chase Young trade rumors to break down with you guys. But first, if you need some more burgundy and gold in your closet this summer, we have a great deal for you guys just in time for Father's Day. Okay, we got our Father's Day sale on the Chat Sports website right now on this Washington Commanders t-shirt combo. We got the short sleeve with the burgundy, long sleeve with the white. Perfect combo for summer. Go chatsports.com/Commanders combo. You can get this these two t-shirts combined for just $30. Not a piece, together for just $30. It's a fantastic deal, guys. If you still have to get your dad a Father's Day gift and he's a big Commanders fan, this is perfect for you. You can maybe even give him one shirt. You can keep the other one for yourself. You know, a little bit of finessing there for just $30. I think it's a great deal. Go to chatsports.com/Commanders combo. So now let's talk about the team that is actually the betting favorite to land Chase Young right now, and that is the Detroit Lions. Now, Detroit is a team that is definitely looking to make a push for the playoffs this year with Dan Campbell, and really the expectations are high for the first time in Detroit in probably a decade, right? In a very long time. This team is actually supposed to be pretty darn good. Jared Goff had a pretty nice season last year. They showed a lot of really good things offensively, and you got Aiden Hutchinson on one side of the line, and if you get Chase Young, that would be an excellent piece to put alongside him. And right now they are the betting favorites. And Bleacher Report says that what it would take for the Lions to get Chase Young would be a second-round pick. Now, you guys probably guess I am probably not going to take this trade if I am GM Martin Mayhew here. But why would the Lions potentially want to make this deal? The Lions could use another high-end pass rusher, like I said, to put on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. Will Anderson Jr. and Chase Young would be certainly a great combination there, but so would Aiden Hutchinson and Chase Young. And Detroit is looking to take the next step on the defensive side of the ball. It's kind of the thing that's missing on their roster right now. Really good offensive production last year, not so great on the defensive side of the ball. They need to bolster that up a little bit. And if they get Young, this is going to be a fantastic pass rush in my opinion, and they do have enough cap space to give him that extension that he is going to be looking for heading into the year. So like I said before, guys, I'm declining this trade offer as well. I am absolutely looking for a first-round pick or, a second-round pick plus a player. That is my price for Chase Young for me to even consider the deal because, like I said, I believe in him. So Detroit is likely going to be a successful team next year, and a second-round pick is probably going to be in the latter half of the second round, and there's just no way I'm giving up Chase Young for a later second-round pick and nothing else. That's just not going to happen. If Detroit even wants to come to the table here, they got to be willing to give up their first-round pick. So the last rumor here on the list here is that Chase Young could be heading to the Pittsburgh Steelers, according to some people in Pittsburgh. Jeff Hartman, who is a reporter for the Pittsburgh Steelers, says that the Steelers are very much interested in making a deal for Chase Young if Washington is willing to come to the table. And I'm actually not sure that this is going to be the case, and I think it's probably going to have to take a first-round pick from the Pittsburgh Steelers in order to get a deal done. All right, this is probably what the deal would look like if it ends up coming to fruition, because I don't think the Commanders want to give up Young for too little, and I think that it's going to have to take probably a first-round pick in order to pry him away here. But I really do doubt that he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers because the Steelers don't really need him. Yes, Mike Tomlin really appreciates the talent that is Chase Young. Apparently, so does the GM over there in Pittsburgh, Omar Khan. But there's some specific reasons why I just don't think that this deal works out. Number one, the price isn't going to be right for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Kenny Pickett, second-year quarterback. Will he work out? Will he not work out? We're going to see on that front. If he doesn't work out, the Steelers are going to want that first-round pick. So I think a first-rounder is going to be off the table for Pittsburgh. Number two, where does he fit on the Steelers' rotation? They already have two really good outside linebackers as their main pass rushers on the edge in TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. And then they also just signed Marcus Golden at NFL free agency, and they just drafted another edge rusher in Nick Herbig in the middle rounds of the NFL draft. They already have a loaded edge room, and even though they really do like Chase Young, I just don't think that with the potential first-round price there, I just don't think it's going to happen. And then also, I think that another thing is that the Steelers are looking to give Alex Highsmith a massive extension. And if they trade for Chase Young, it really creates a dynamic there of who's going to get that big extension, right? You're already paying TJ Watt a record amount of money there in Pittsburgh, And, Highsmith is set for an extension, but if you trade for Chase Young, you're going to be giving him another contract. And I just think that creates a lot of hoopla. That's definitely not going to be good for the Steelers long term. So I just don't think that a trade to Pittsburgh is going to happen. All right, so before I get going here, there were some encouraging words from head coach Ron Rivera for those of us out there that do not want to see Chase Young play for any other team than the Washington Commanders in 2023. This is what the head coach of your Commanders had to say on Chase Young. He looked good. He really did. Real excited about it. Looks like he's got some explosion back, which is one of the really neat things in terms of watching him. His get off. He looks like he's more confident. So for me, guys, it certainly seems like Ron Rivera wants Chase Young to be a Commander. There's a bunch of rumors flying around right now because they declined the fifth-year option. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to see number 99 wearing the burgundy and gold next season. And I think he's going to have a breakout year that makes everybody who is saying that they should trade Chase Young look silly. I think he's going to be a fantastic player next year, and he's going to get the bag heading into the 2024 offseason. So take a guess for me here. Will Chase Young be traded before the 2023 season? I certainly hope not, but predict it for me down in the comment section. But giving me a Y if you think he gets traded, or type N if you think he's going to be a Washington Commander in 2023. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's show. I appreciate all the real ones that made it to the end of the video. And until next time, guys, hail to the Commanders.